إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك.
في المدينة
محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
As the registration for the 2018 Hajj gets underway, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) has urged intending pilgrims to ensure that payments for the 2018 Hajj are completed before the end of March 2018. This is to enable the Commission meet the deadline set by Saudi Arabia for pilgrims registration. NAHCON Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Mohammed disclosed this when the new leadership of the Association of Hajj and Umrah Operators in Nigeria (NAHCON) paid him a courtesy visit.
Whoever wants to participate in 2018 Hajj, the planning, the booking, the reservation is now till the end of March. This will be the message that we'll continue to carry to all Nigerians.
He then called on the new leadership of NAHCON to show leadership by example in discharging their responsibilities.
Leadership is always by example. You can't be a leader if you don't practice what you preach, or if you don't practice what you expect your followership to practice. So the best way of symbolizing leadership is for the leader to lead by example.
The chairman further stressed the need for professionalism by tour operators, saying it is the only way to contain the activities of quacks in the industry.
The business of management of Hajj and Umrah is not an open market for everybody who doesn't know how to do it. It's a professional industry that must be managed by professionals.
Earlier in his remarks, the acting president of NAHCON, Alhaji Salihu Butu, commended NAHCON leadership for its support, which he said has given a huge boost to Hajj operations in Nigeria. He added that the association is making plans to launch media campaign to educate pilgrims on the importance of early payment of Hajj fares.
We had even decided to go on a media campaign to make sure that pilgrims were enlightened. There's need for them to register for their this year's Hajj earlier enough. We decided to go on print medias and electronic media, and we therefore also solicited NAHCON also contributions towards this enlightenment program.
Meanwhile, states across the country have begun the collection of the monthly 300,000 naira deposits from intending pilgrims performing the 2018 Hajj. This is in line with NAHCON directives towards meeting deadlines set by Saudi Arabia government for all payment to be made. The Saudi authority will close its portal in May 2018. Director General of Sokoto State Pilgrims Welfare Agency, Alhaji Ibrahim Umar, said prospective pilgrims will deposit the 300,000 naira in 5 monthly installments pending the announcement of final fare by NAHCON. In Katsina State, the Director General of the State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Alhaji Muhammad Aburimi, said the board has begun the collection of 300,000 naira deposits from its intending pilgrims, saying that the board is not accepting cash payment.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) urges all intending pilgrims from all states of the Federation to start installment payments of at least 300,000 naira monthly for this year's Hajj from November 2017 to March 2018.
The payments and registration should be made at respective state Muslim pilgrims welfare offices nationwide through the NAHCON online registration portal at www.nigeriahajcom.gov.ng free of charge. Therefore, no fee is required for any form for the 2018 Hajj registration at all, nor by the Pilgrims Registration Officers of the State's Board.
Payments could be made by bank draft or online platforms of the State Pilgrims Welfare Offices, and receipt must be collected there and then. No cash payment to any person.
All intending pilgrims traveling through states' Muslim Pilgrims Welfare agencies, boards, commissions, and those traveling using tour operators must know that the 2018 Hajj calendar requires that by March ending, all payments must have been concluded in Nigeria to finalize preparations against the May 2018 deadline for the closure of Saudi Hajj portal.
This message is from the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
Educating pilgrims is an activity the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) takes seriously. The Commission does this in line with the provisions of the Act establishing it, which says the Commission shall establish and maintain an adequate information system and libraries of books and other relevant publications, as well as cinematograph and other facilities for use by persons interested in or desirous of undertaking pilgrimage. Conduct educative and enlightenment campaigns on Hajj and Umrah in all the states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. With the Umrah period at hand, NAHCON is not relenting in its efforts to educate those about to undertake the journey. The Commission is focusing on those areas that should interest pilgrims performing Umrah. They are the tour operator to register with, the package to pay for, number of days to spend in Saudi Arabia, travel documents, and handling of luggage. The first important thing that an intended pilgrim is expected to do is to register with a licensed tour operator.
How do you know those companies licensed by the Commission? One, the Commission from time to time is publishing the list of accredited Umrah companies in national dailies for information and noting of members of the general public. One, to guide them. Two, to assist them to make choice out of the licensed companies. We want to advise all intending Umrah pilgrims not to go to tout or any company not registered by the Commission. Likewise, if you go to our website, you see the list of these licensed Umrah companies. And the Commission is updating this list from time to time because the validity of this Umrah license is just for 1 year, 12 calendar month.
How then can the pilgrim make payment and avoid being defrauded?
Do not pay cash to anybody. Collect the account details of that particular company and make your payment into the account. Even do not pay into private account. Even if the owner of the company is telling you, yes, I'm the owner of the company, pay into my personal account. No, do not do that. Make sure you make your payment into your company's account, and after you might have made your payment, you go back to the company with your teller just for you to have your receipt.
What about the package to be paid for?
Right from Nigeria here, in terms of flights, in terms of accommodation in Mecca and Medina, in terms of transportation. If you pay for basic, you know, yes, this is basic. If you pay for VIP, you should ask your Umrah company to give you the package you actually paid for, so that when you get there, you'll be able to compare what you have actually paid for and what you were given in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So it's very, very important for all intending Umrah pilgrims to know what they have paid for.
When traveling for Umrah, it is important for pilgrims to ensure that all their travel documents and visa are intact.
After you have collected your visa, it is very important that you have your ticket. And even on your way back, you need this ticket. You need a confirmed ticket, not just booking. Not one leg is confirmed, the other one is hanging. No. If you are going for Umrah, do not go for such tickets. Make sure you have confirmed return ticket. Then your yellow card is very, very important. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they don't joke with yellow card. So all these traveling documents are very, very important. And mark you, these traveling documents should be in your pocket. Not a situation whereby you keep your traveling document in your check-in luggage.
While traveling, pilgrims must avoid taking luggage that are not theirs and also not give theirs to anyone. This is because criminals use the opportunity to smuggle contraband or hard drugs.
Do not allow anybody to say, Alaji, please, let me carry this bag. After the immigration, after the checkout something, I'll collect my bag from you. Do not do that. Because you were not there when this Alaji was packing his bag. It's possible he or she might have put something that is prohibited in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, like drug, in the bag, unknowingly for you, under the pretext of saying, please assist me.
What is the implication of overstaying in Saudi Arabia after performing the Umrah?
Do not be cajoled by people who advise you, you can still stay for your Ramadan Umrah, you can still stay for Hajj with the same visa. It is dangerous. And Saudi authority frowns at overstaying. It's a major offense. And to them in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, it attracts fines and imprisonment.
Through its various reforms, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, is taking steps towards ensuring financial independence and reduce dependence on government. This is in line with the policy of the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The current government, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, came on board. One of his cardinal principles was for reduction in government spending. And in this connection, most ministries, you see, ministries were merged. There was also a mandate to all the MDAs, including the National Health Commission of Nigeria, to review its spending, especially its expenditure and revenue profile. It was towards this direction that we too had to look inward. The management of the commission, led by Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar, Chairman Chief Executive of National Health Commission of Nigeria, in keying to this government policy, made it a point of duty to expand the revenue profile of the commission.
The measures put in place to achieve this include renegotiating the cost of accommodation for pilgrims in Saudi Arabia.
The accommodation rate in Mecca and Medina was renegotiated, unlike what we used to have before. The same thing with the air carriers, with the airline. Overall, from all these three avenues, we are able to reduce the amount of expenditure the Commission is incurring.
This is being done alongside pruning down the number of officials going for Hajj, particularly medical personnel.
The government expenditure on our offshore operation was about 69%. In 2015, it was reduced to 68%. But last year, this Hajj that was concluded in October the government support for our offshore expenditure was 23%, which we hope to reduce in accordance with this self-reliance principle, so that before long, government may no longer even be funding our offshore operation.
Basking in this, NAHCON has secured the Metro Plaza building as its permanent headquarters. This will not only serve as offices, parts of the building will be leased for commercial purposes to generate more revenue.
That edifice will not only house our corporate office, but the other apartments there we also use to generate revenue. So that's another plus. And besides, the Ask Saving scheme that we intend to implement is also another form of, as another area where the Commission can generate revenue.
There is also the plan to review the cost of air tickets and other charges by states, resulting in huge reduction in cost.
We no longer allow the states to fix local charges, admin charges arbitrarily. Unlike when in the past when they charge between 40, this time around the maximum was 5,000 for admin charges, apart from uniform. Then also in the case of a luggage, the suitcase, the Commission also reduced the cost of this suitcase.
محمد نبينا بنور هدينا.
Tawaf, or circumambulation of Kaaba, and Sa'i, or the work between Safa and Marwa, are important aspects of the Hajj or Umrah rites that pilgrims must perform. While performing these rites, many pilgrims make mistakes. On Hajj Talk tonight, Sheikh Hussein Zakaria explains what Tawaf is and highlights the common mistakes associated with the conduct of Tawaf by pilgrims.
And Tawaf, which is very, very important, which is the second aspect of Hajj after the intention at the Miqat, is that as soon as we enter the Kaaba, we enter the Masjid al-Kaaba, Masjid al-Haram, you go straight to the Hajar al-Aswad. Hajar al-Aswad is the place where the Tawaf is to begin. If you start your Tawaf before the Hajar al-Aswad, that's a mistake. That's mistake number one. Some people will start their Tawaf as soon as they enter the Kaaba. This is wrong. So don't start your Tawaf until and unless you went to directly at the line which has been marked either by the light, the green light at the walls of the Kaaba, or by the black line or brown line on the floor of the Kaaba.
For male pilgrims, they are expected to start the Tawaf by jogging and exposing their right shoulders.
If you are a male, pilgrim, always start your Tawaf. If it is Tawaf al-Qudum or Tawaf al-Umrah, that Tawaf al-Qudum means the first Tawaf you do on arrival at Hajj. You begin with the trotting or the jogging by opening the right shoulder of your gab. Even if there's no enough space for you to trot, just trot in one place. The first phase, the second phase, and the third phase. After that, you cover your shoulder with the gab, and then you continue the remaining 4 parts of the phase.
Sheikh Hussein Zakaria says pilgrims also do make mistakes while observing the rites of Maqam Ibrahim and Hijr al-Ismail.
Do not go around the Kaaba, do not make the Tawaf inside the Hijr Ismail, the dwarf, the small dwarf, the small wall, the dwarf wall around the Kaaba. Do not go inside it, always go outside it. And don't touch it. Don't touch it with the intention of being blessed by touching it. It is also a mistake to go to do tawaf inside the Hajar Ismail, and it's also wrong to touch the wall of the Hajar Ismail. It is also similarly wrong to touch the Maqam Ibrahim, that the glass pulpit where the footprints of Prophet Ismail, Prophet Ibrahim was stationed.
Pushing to create space for oneself and making supplication loudly are other forms of mistakes.
Rehearsing a particular prayer while at the hearings and disturbing of everybody. No, do it to Allah. He listens, he understands what you say, he listens to what you say, despite the fact that even if you say that as low as is possible. So don't disturb other people while they are saying they are rehearsing their own prayers. Similarly, it is wrong for one person to shout for other people or group of people to recite after him.
When seeking Allah's blessings, Sheikh Hussein says pilgrims should not embrace or touch anything inside the haram except in two places.
Insisting that they will touch every part of the Kaaba, either the body of the Kaaba, the wall of the Kaaba, or the gown of the Kaaba. It is wrong. Only two places you are allowed to touch. The Rukn al-Yamani, which you see there's going to be this place where the cloth is cut, so that you will touch and say Allahu Akbar, and then move forward to Hajar al-Aswad. Also there, if you have chance to touch it, touch it.
Sheikh Zakaria warns that these mistakes can invalidate one's Hajj or Umrah. Though pilgrims can make any accepted supplication in Islam, there is however a particular one at a point called Rukn al-Yaman.
Another mistake which the pilgrims also make is where the pilgrims will not recite Rabbana Atina Fid Dunya Hasana between the Rukn al-Yamani and the Hajar al-Aswad. The Prophet used to do that. Apart from the prayers he will say between Hajar al-Aswad to Rukn al-Yamani, as soon as he reaches the Rukn al-Yamani, he will say Rabbana Atina Fid Dunya Hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar. This he will do this until he reaches Hajar al-Aswad. Then he will say Allahu Akbar, touch the Kaaba and touch the Hajar al-Aswad if he can, or kiss it, or touch it with the stick, or whatever.
After performing tawaf, pilgrims usually insist on doing the 2 rakat nafila prayers at Maqam Ibrahim.
It is not binding upon every pilgrim to perform the 2 rakats after tawaf at Maqam Ibrahim, or just close to the building of the Kaaba. No, you can perform it anywhere, so that you will not be cause of a stagnation of the flow of people during the tawaf. If you finish your tawaf, go outside. Anywhere in the Kaaba you can perform your prayers.
These mistakes are not only noticeable during tawaf, but also in sa'i, the work between Safa and Marwa.
Is to insist that you must climb to the top of the Safa. You want to go to the top, the highest elevation of the mountain. No, it's not allowed. It's not compulsory. Just any type, any place around it, because it's all part of the mountain. It used to be a very big mountain. Don't insist that you must do it with ablution. You can do your sa'i without ablution, unlike the tawaf. And it's also not allowed to wear your mufti, your native cloth, and start and say, I want to go and do sa'i. Either you're a woman or you're a man, you have to wear the ihram and then perform the sa'i.
The Islamic scholar states that only men are allowed to jog after reaching the green light mark.
It is a mistake for women also to hasten or to jog between the 2 green lights. No, it's only for the men. No women should do that. When you are going to Safa, while you are going to Marwa from Safa, you jog between the 2 green lights. While you are coming from Marwa to Safa, you also jog between the two green lights. This is only for throughout the 7th.
On how many times one is allowed to do the work, the Sheikh says the question is also at the center of some of the mistakes made by pilgrims.
From Safa to Safa is one tawaf or one sa'i. No, it's not from Safa to Safa. From Safa to Marwa, that is 1. From Marwa to Safa, that is 2. If you do from Safa to Safa, it's a mistake. and you want to suffer because you will do it 14 times.
He urges pilgrims to always seek for knowledge to avoid these mistakes during Hajj or Umrah in order to earn Allah's rewards.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, urges all intending pilgrims from all states of the Federation to start installment payments of at least 300,000 naira monthly for this year's Hajj from November 2017 to March 2018.
The payments and registration should be made at respective state Muslim pilgrims welfare offices nationwide through the NAHCON online registration portal at www.nigeriahajcom.gov.ng free of charge. Therefore, no fee is required for any form for the 2018 Hajj registration at all, nor by the pilgrims registration officers of the state's board.
Payments could be made by bank draft or online platforms of the state pilgrims welfare offices, and receipt must be collected there and then. No cash payment to any person.
All intending pilgrims traveling through states Muslim pilgrims welfare agencies, boards, commissions, and those traveling using tour operators must know that the 2018 Hajj calendar requires that by March ending, all payments must have been concluded in Nigeria to finalize preparations against the May 2018 deadline for the closure of Saudi Hajj portal.
This message is from the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك